This is my ass, and it's my son's ass.
Complete Walter Goggins style, just having a picture of his ass, in his house, framed, right? Hey guys, welcome back to a Realtor Reacts video. My name is Manuel Sanchez. I'm a real estate agent here in San Diego, and today we're going to be taking a look at Walter Goggins' house. Amazing character, probably one of my favorite characters in all 3 seasons of White Lotus, and as you may know, the White Lotus season 3 is coming to an end, so rightfully so, we're going to take a look at Walter Goggins' house. So let's jump right in. Amazing actor, by the way.
Hello, AD. What are you doing here? Just kidding. Welcome to our home.
You could tell right away just how simple lifestyle this guy lives. I mean, it seems like this house is out in the country somewhere, which I think it's always amazing when all these actors, like really famous actors like, Walter Goggins has recently become, and he was famous before, but how they just move out of Hollywood in itself. I lived in LA for 2 years, and how these actors move away from it and kind of away from the spotlight, I think is pretty cool.
This is the gun room. I should contextualize this experience for you. The house was built in 1924. The gentleman who owned it had 3,000 acres around here.
Wow.
We have 125. It was built in the design of a Scottish hunting lodge. I personally have never been to a Scottish hunting lodge.
Casually, let's take a look. Casually,
the gentleman who owned it
having guns there, I think it's
we have 125. It was built in the design of a Scottish hunting lodge.
Casually having a gun just at the entrance, completely Walter Goggins style.
I personally have never been to a Scottish hunting lodge, so I'm going to have to take your word for it. This was the gun room and where they would store all of their guns and go on a hunt. They had a pheasant farm here and a number of other things. So let me show you this right over here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There are these little gun.
You can tell how well kept this house is. Just, how well maintained it's been just by the wood. When you have a wooden house, it's really hard to maintain, and especially when you have rough weather or it's been lived in, it's not that easy. So he's maintained it pretty well.
But kind of indentations right here. We put these shelves in on both sides, but guns were lined up on both sides of this door. Check this out. You know what this is? This is a prohibition bar. Now we have the original blueprints of the house, right? So we know that this room was called a linen closet, but it ain't a linen closet. This is where I get to do my thing. This is where they kept all of their liquor for all of their friends that kind of came over.
Just
they
classic,
like
classy style.
Babe Ruth, Walt Disney, Joan Crawford. Even the House of Windsor.
And you could tell, like, just looking at this room, like, I have a small little bar, wet bar in my house, and typically when I'm out, have friends over serving drinks, you spill, drinks and whatnot. But something like this, to maintain it the way it is, and it's so cool when I see this because, by the way, I sometimes don't understand. There's so much tech out there and lights and whatnot that you need wall plugins, and these houses I think they're old, so you don't have a ton of wall outlets, right? So in a room like this, you could see that he has candles lit up right next to the sink, and just little details like that, like the little natural details like that, I think is awesome.
What's so special about this and the history of this place is that all of the people that drank here actually signed the wall. This is the signatures of some of the people that signed the wall. This is Edna St. Vincent Millay here at the top.
I think that's so cool when people do that. I couldn't do it in my
Joan
house.
Crawford's name was right over there in the corner, but they
just writing on
covered it up
on a
with,
white wall.
Stain.
Couldn't do it at my house.
Joan, I'm so sorry. In keeping with tradition with what they did in this bar, I have asked a number of my friends to begin signing this wall because socializing and having friends over and talking.
You saw
is very,
there
very
Sam
important to me and
Rockwell's.
the people. Joan Crawford's
You saw
name is
Sam
right over there in the
Rockwell's
corner, but they
name up there,
covered
which
it up
if
with,
you've seen White Lotus and if
stain
you've seen it
when we were
recently,
redoing this room. Joan, I'm so sorry.
let's pause
And
there.
keeping
Watch.
with tradition with what they did in this bar, I have asked a number of my friends to begin signing this wall because
You can see Sam Rockwell's name on there, which I think is awesome. Sam Rockwell is the famous scene that it's in White Lotus season 3, which he's in, and Sam Rockwell is in as well. This famous scene that has now just become a meme everywhere, and I think it's awesome. You can tell that he has a history with Sam Rockwell. They've been friends for a long time. By the way, if you're watching White Lotus season 3, Sam Rockwell was not supposed to be in White Lotus season 3. His wife is in it. In case you didn't know, his wife is in it, and he asked the director if he could have a part in it, and the director actually wrote out a script where he could be in White Lotus, which I think is pretty cool. But it seems like Sam Rockwell has been at Walter Goggins' house.
socializing and having friends over and talking is very, very important to me and my family. Rosebud. Just kidding. So we are in the Hudson Valley, and as you can imagine, it's cold, and it certainly would have been much colder than it was today.
He's out there in the Hudson Valley.
So all of the fireplaces in this house are practical. The one thing in this room I did want to show you is this. This is a bronze casting of my hand from the Hateful Eight. This Roman
That's
artisan
actually really
made
cool.
a sculpture out of it and presented it to Quentin at the premiere of the Hateful Eight in Rome. Oh, Architectural Digest, you're still here? Just kidding.
Now, if you didn't know,
come this way. I wanna show
Walter
you
Goggins
something.
has been
This is a gift
in a couple
from
movies with
Sam
Quentin
Jackson.
Tarantino,
It's
or
a gun
in a
that
couple
he gave
films
us
of
on
his.
The Hateful
Hateful Eight being
He
one of
gave
them.
7 of
Django,
us
he's
the
also in
gun. He
Django
gave
as well.
Jennifer Jason Leigh a Prada purse. And she said, you can keep the Prada purse. I want the gun.
Look at that room. Wow, now we're talking. Now that's
This
a room.
is the living
That's
room.
a room.
It literally is my favorite room in the house. We spend a lot
Why
of time
wouldn't it be? Look
in
at
this
it.
room as a family. There are, 20 windows in this room, and so you can kind of...
I love how back then you'd have these windows, like so much light come in. And right now it's like, this looks even almost like a modern house, which is not at all a modern house, but you can see all the natural wood in the property, and it really, all the natural light that comes in and really lights up the place. I think that is awesome. By the way, his furniture and the way he has it, not staged, but the way he has the furniture set up and how it's been decorated is amazing.
Look out and see the seasons as they change. The sun comes up.
You can see he has some binoculars there. He probably sees some birds out there and wildlife, which I mean, if you're in the comfort of your own home, looking out and looking at wildlife, can't ask for a better place to live at.
Right over there. And we wake up early in the morning and have a cappuccino and sit
Coffee
here and
guy,
watch the sun
my
come
kind of
up.
guy.
It's very romantic. When we were designing this house, we wanted it to feel like it felt in 1923.
1923.
Like it's a living salon. Awesome. We contacted a dear friend of ours who became our interior architect, Sean Henderson, who is an unbelievable designer in this home. He just helped us reframe this experience and begin
You
to
can
think
see all the
how we could live.
exposed beams. Like, you see that a lot as, in modern homes, the exposed beams, they're only there for decoration. Obviously, in a 1929 house, they're there for a purpose, and they look amazing.
In it as a family. I like things that are old, that feel lived in and worn, and a lot of the little bitty things that you see on all of these
Seems like
shelves
everything
as we
in
walk
there
through the house,
is like
or even
old
lamps
and
or even chairs.
lived
They're
in
just
and
things that I've just kinda
worn,
picked up
but that's
along the way in
it's
my
a style.
travels. Now, I'm a firm believer in not having to walk more than 3 or 4 feet without having a place to sit or with a drink.
That's pretty cool. Or with a
and
drink.
friend and having a conversation. I think that that's what life is really all about.
And you could tell, like, we saw the entrance, we saw, his bar room, we saw now his living area, fireplace, not a single TV in any of these rooms, which says a lot about someone. I've had clients and sold their homes and walked in, and I'm like, where's the TV? A lot of these clients like to read. They like to talk. They have conversations. Like, I think that should be the way that we're headed in. But not a single TV in an actor's home is awesome. He probably has a movie theater somewhere hiding.
Can we just look at this fireplace? This is 120 years old.
Wow.
I sit here in front of this fire with my wife or with a friend.
That's a massive fireplace. Massive.
Think about all the conversations.
He's not a super tall guy, but you could
over 100
you could see him standing next to it.
It fills me with so much joy.
Look at that.
It's very important for me to say this. There are a lot of artisans and artists that went into the making of our home in this community that we now call home. And some of those people are James Romanchuk and his son Dave, Jake Saka, who did all.
What a classy bathroom! Look at that. It just goes so well with the house. The minimal, you have the subway tile there, which obviously is super in right now, and just minimalistic house.
Plumbing, again, Sean Henderson, our architectural designer.
Love it.
And Dean Warner, who did the electricity. Chris Gregory, who matched all of the walls around here. And
a lot of work
I just
put
think
into
it's
the
so
house.
important to say that, like making a movie, an actor doesn't make a movie, a director doesn't make a movie. A team of people show up every day and pour their hearts into it.
He's a fantastic actor.
This is a painting by a friend of mine, Danny Fox, and you'll see Danny and Wes Lang.
I think it's
in a lot of places. They're my best
a nice
friends,
painting,
and I'm very fortunate to have
I don't know if I would
of their pieces.
put it on that wall. It seems to blend into the wall too much. I don't know. And something like a wall being this color, you probably, in my opinion, want to put a painting that pops out a little bit more color. This painting for me just blends too much into the aesthetics of the brown and all the wood surrounding it. It's too earthy tones, I guess. You want more pop, in my opinion. That's just me.
A few of their pieces, and they're bangers, if you know what I mean. Come with me. So then that leads into this hallway.
It's a cool house.
Check this thing out. This is what's so cool about this. This was the main entrance to the house.
Wow.
We decided to
change
close
out the
this
main entrance
off to
That's
the
pretty
house
cool.
and kind of redid all the stone outside so that this is kind of like our personal wing. But
No,
this was the main entrance.
They didn't really
to
show the
house.
exterior of the
And
house.
It's just one of my favorite rooms in the whole house. It's just a hallway.
I don't know if they will,
What
but
a
I'd
magnificent
like to see the
hallway
exterior of the
it is.
house. Kind of the look of it, the style of it.
You'll
So
see a
you,
lot
you
of
have a way brighter room here. The other one seemed a little bit more moody. The colors, more, darker colors. Here you see a little bit more color pop out. Obviously with the books on the wall, you have more white. Whenever you have white walls, any color you put on it, it'll just automatically pop.
art in this home. That's what I do. That's what I'm passionate about. It's about collecting things and finding things that are meaningful to me. I spend a lot of time
You can see the
in
naked
antique
picture on the
shops and flea markets and things of that nature. But I've been collecting art for about 28 years. And I started when, chips from Valet Park and just a little bitty thing. And now,
these paintings
28 years
pop
later,
out,
we've accumulated a lot of art. And having our
they're up
son
against a white
exposed
wall.
to art is one of the most important gifts I think that we've been able to give him. This
There it
is
is.
my ass, and it's my son's ass.
Complete
And we
Walter
are walking
Goggins
in a
style,
river
just
out
having
here
a
in the
picture of
Hudson
his
Valley.
ass,
He's probably
in
3
his
days,
house,
so it would have been
framed,
about
right?
11 years ago. What I also really love about this room is the view. We live in the Hudson Valley, so it's constantly filled with deer or wild turkey
That's
or
awesome.
black bears or me walking naked, talking to myself, studying lines. You can see all of those things outside this window.
Imagine being out there just running into naked Walter Goggins. Like the kitchen. Okay. If you know me, well, actually, I don't know if many of you know me, but
You can see all of those things
we have to
outside
just
this
take
window.
a quick stop on here, quick pit stop for the coffee machine. I'm a big coffee guy. This is a really nice espresso machine. He does have a grinder next to it. Not top of the line, but it'll get the job done. And I love that he has this. He likes his coffee. You can do some cappuccinos with this machine. Now this is an I think it's called an E62 machine, which is a single boiler machine, espresso machine. Pretty cool that he has it though.
And now I'm going to take you to the kitchen. This is where the cooking happens. And guess what? I do none of it. Zero. My wife, she does all of it. She's an incredible cook.
Really nice kitchen.
I'm very lucky to have a partner who enjoys cooking.
Almost a mixture of like,
although I do cook a mean sourdough
and
I cook some unbelievable focaccia. Have you heard of it?
Almost like
These
a
are just
almost like
old
a
place that we kind of found, and this little piece of art right up here was the first piece of art that I bought from a friend of mine. That one and this one almost
high-end appliances
28 years ago. But these are just things that we've kind of collected. These are ants.
8-burner. What does he have on there?
There's some ants right here. Again, they're just fans of my focaccia. This is a table that we had at our house in Los Angeles, and it was too long for here.
In LA, so it seemed like he lived in LA before.
Cut it down. We live in the woods.
What actor hasn't,
it's
right?
It's not like you can kind of run down to the store and get everything that you need. And there was a lot of thought and a lot of effort that kind of went into all of this. The other thing that I'm really passionate about is lighting. I just have been collecting light fixtures for a really long time. This is
super nice, super antique.
A friend of ours. Not a lot of variety.
Antique look. And the crazy thing about these lights, for example, like the one he just shown and this one right here, is that you don't find these lights nowadays. Like these are like classic style lights that you can't just run into, a furniture store or a lighting store and find these type of lights.
Or brass or copper. The thing that my family can't stand is how low I usually keep the lights. And they're constantly like, you see everything is on a dimmer. See that? Everything's on a dimmer. I'm going to do an impersonation of my family whenever they walk into a room. And
turn on the lights.
The lights go up. And as soon as they leave, the lights go down.
Moody. Yeah, look at the attention to detail this property has. Oh, there it is, the first TV.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Architectural Digest.
That's the first TV in this whole video, in the whole house.
This is the TV room. Movies are a really big part of mine and my son,
obviously,
and my wife's life. So we spend a lot of time in this room.
It just looks so home. Like I could totally see just chilling on that couch and watching a movie. See that artwork there just pops out.
This is my office, and it's kind of a big, wide open space. This is a desk that
I think it's so cool when office spaces are all the way up on the third floor. Most home office spaces are typically they're on the first floor because, well, if you have any clients over or anyone over for a meeting at your house, you kind of want almost even a second entrance to your office. But I really, really like the look of just third floor, second floor offices where you have this, you could see the ceiling on there, just all this like, character in this office. Obviously he's out in Hudson Valley. He probably doesn't have a lot of people come out and meet with him here in his office. It seems more like it's a creative space for him.
Had it for about 10 years. It's just really personal to me with, again, a bunch of things that I've collected over the years. I have stuff everywhere. This is a board where I keep all kind of my inspiration and
whoa,
things that
did I
I've
just
done
spot
kind of over the years,
an Oscar?
Things that really matter
back
to me.
there?
A lot of pictures of my son. Hey, that's Tim Oliphant. And that's
I don't know if I
me.
spotted an Oscar.
That's Raylan and
Has
Boyd,
he ever won an Oscar?
right there.
Might have to
Things
double
that
check.
really matter to me. A lot of pictures of my son. Hey, this is
There it is. You can see it right there. That's an Oscar. That's pretty cool. Doesn't seem to have a plaque. Typically, when you win an Oscar, you go to the governor's ball. And look, I know I'm a real estate agent reacting to this real estate video, but I was really into acting and I'm really into acting and film and everything movie making wise. Typically, when you win an Oscar at the Oscars, you then go to an event or party called the Governor's Ball. Governor's Ball. At the Governor's Ball is where they actually put the plaque that it says your name, the movie that you were in, and the Oscar that you won. This one doesn't seem to have a plaque on it.
Board where I keep all kind of my inspiration and things that I've done kind of over
Maybe
the
that
years. And
Oscar
things that
statues
really
and
matter to me.
inspiration.
A lot of pictures of my son. Hey, that's Tim Oliphant, and that's
interesting.
me. That's Raylan and Boyd, right there. Pretty cool. This is my.
He didn't talk
personal
about
space,
the Oscar,
and
so
this room is. It's
might not be real.
Me. When we bought the
Completely
house,
fine, by
this
the way.
was actually 3 bedrooms and a bathroom up here, and the rooms were really small. And then this was the caretakers.
Such a cool bathroom. Look at how neat that is.
House, when we bought it,
black
it hadn't
wood.
been touched in
Black and
100
white.
years. Every system in the house was on the precipice of failing. I mean, over the course of that year, we learned so much about
Seems like
this
he put
house,
a ton
the history of
into this
place,
property.
but we learned so much about ourselves
ton into it.
and what it takes to bring a house back to life. And we're better for it because it's literally the place that we want to be for the rest of our lives.
So nice. Definitely did it right. Did it right. All the hats. He's big into hat. He's a hat guy. So am I.
The guy who
Love
built
hats.
the house, this was his bedroom. I mean, the way that he designed this house is extraordinary in the sense that
By the way,
the living room
if you're not familiar with
faces south.
what
So it
those
gets
on the
sun
floor
all day
are, those are
long,
heaters
whereas
for every
this
room.
in particular faces
These right here.
east. So
These black things, they're heaters. Obviously, when you're out in Hudson Valley and it's cold, you have fireplaces, natural wood burning fireplaces, and heaters to stay warm at night.
wake up in the morning and then you see the sunrise. The first time that we saw it, we didn't expect it. And we woke up with the sun kind of hitting our eyes, and we couldn't believe what we were looking at. That this man had the foresight.
Big bedroom as well.
To position this.
I'm
in
guessing
such
he
a way
probably,
with the
I
architects
mean, back in
that we-
1929, you didn't have bedrooms this big. I'm guessing when they redid the whole house, they expanded the master bedroom. And you can see, look at the doors. Look at the attention to detail on the doors. Not your typical door, which I absolutely love. I think is so amazing.
to build it that allowed
totally
you to
live
wake
in
up
this place.
to nature, kind of
Look
in
at the
that way.
backyard.
It blew our minds.
Again,
but
they
it
haven't
really
shown the
opened
exterior of
up
the
our
house.
hearts, and I can't.
They haven't shown the
believe that
exterior
we
of the
get
house,
to
so
live here.
I'd like to see it
You've
though.
seen my bed, but there's one bed that you haven't seen. We have a black lab, and she's the kind
Now
of
that I
nucleus,
think about
the
it,
heart of
usually
our
in these
family.
Architectural
She would sleep
Digest
on our
home tours, they
sofas,
don't show the
and they're
exterior of
made
the
out
house.
of velvet. And when we moved
Start at the
here
front
to
door.
Hudson Valley, we were taking apart an old couch that we had, and I said, "Whoa, don't throw that away. Let's make the dog's bed out of our old sofa, and then maybe she'll have her own velvet bed, and she won't
you go.
sleep on our sofa." But it didn't work.
Recycle, reuse.
She still sleeps on our sofa.
Beautiful property. Beautiful property. I don't know how many bedrooms it has. I don't think they said either. But it seems like 4 or 5 bedrooms, maybe 6.
AD, thank you so
That was the Walter Goggins home tour Realtor Reacts. In my opinion, this is it's not. I can't say it's the best house I've seen on AD, but it's a really, really unique house. It's a really it seems like it's a very it's a house with a ton of character. The wooden walls, the stuff that he's done. Obviously, he personalized the house, and he's put a lot of what he likes into the property, which I think it's awesome. Everyone should do that. Obviously, not everyone can do that, but in this situation, Walter Goggins, you did it right. Anyways, if you like these Realtor Reacts videos, and by the way, I was going to put a price on this property. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with Hudson Valley. So if anyone watching this video knows what this house might be worth in Hudson Valley, comment below. I mean, he has a lot of acreage. But anyways, if you like these Realtor Reacts videos, comment below, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.